Today I'm doing another comparison of two different watercolor papers. One is Boahong and the other Saunders Waterford. They're both 140-pound rough, and I've laid them out in such a fashion that you can see a like-for-like comparison when I paint, and they will both receive the same mixture of paints for a fair comparison. I start with a number 12 brush and lay some water here and there with gaps in between for each of the skies, as I wish to achieve some light clouds in both of them. And then we've got some winter blue coming up from the top, as always, start at the top, come down to one of those areas of water and let it slowly begin to fuse in. Same on the bottom one. So there'll be quite a little bit of this going on. I would say at this stage they both come in various formats. 12 by 9, for instance, with glued edges as a pad for 20 sheets. Both of them have 20 sheets. They are both cotton. They are both acid free and sized for absorption control. I will be making some further comments when I have completed the paintings of each of them. So important to see it to the end so that I can do a good comparison on various aspects of each paper. So as you can see, I'm being careful to do justice to both of them in the same manner. It's useful to bear in mind that I do have quite a bit of experience in transparent watercolor and various other media, of course, but 40 years painting in transparent watercolor. These are Winsor & Newton paints, which you'll see from the materials listing. So once again, same paints for each painting. So far, I have noticed that the Saunders Waterford does dry a little bit quicker than the Boahong. The pigment stays on the surface just that little bit longer. Now, that's not a problem, but it therefore might influence your choice of paper given your style of painting. As always, I like to use a flat brush when doing cloud formations because it carries less pigment, and with that chiseled edge, I can shape clouds nicely. With a round brush, the belly holds a lot of pigment and water, and therefore you will have less control. I know you can have a piece of tissue to hand and take off some of that volume from a brush, which you'll see me do occasionally when I do these tuitions. But it's something you don't have to really worry about too much when using a flat brush. You can make rapid progress. As always, when we get down towards the horizon level, the clouds are thinner and fainter. So I'm doing that for both of them. As you can see, they're both looking very similar at the moment. And do have some tissue to hand that's very clean because you can do some lifting here and there and you can soften the edges of the clouds. am finding that because the Saunders Waterford dries a little bit quicker, it's therefore important to do any lifting quite swiftly because it takes a little bit of more effort if it's left too long. Just bear that in mind. So the distant hills there, coming down to the horizon level, very simply painted in, run along the ridge line, then some clear water along the bottom where the pencil line is, and let it fuse in. So nothing really complicated, complex for this comparison. Much more of a chance of being fair with something simple like this. Same principle being applied to the Saunders Waterford. Okay, clear water again at the bottom. Then later I'll strengthen the top with the ridge line. You can see, I think, from this demonstration so far that the clouds are nicely formed. They've fused in nicely. So the absorption is efficient for both papers. I think they do result in a realistic final effect. Okay, so as always, things will dry lighter, dry off with a hairdryer, and if necessary, mop the edges of the paper for excess water pigment so you avoid creep back. Now we've been mixing up some yellow and green, two intensities of green, and start with yellow using a 12 brush again. See, only 3 brushes used for this, all across the land area, the Windsor yellow. Then you will start at the bottom for your greens and go up gradually because it gets lighter and lighter as you get towards the horizon. Now the darkest green fusing in. It's quite a long way through. Painting wise, it's nearly complete. And then I'll give a good summary of various aspects as my final thoughts. And here we are. Water absorption and flow. I did find that the pigment, the water stays on the surface of the Boahong just that little bit longer. So it gives you a little bit more time to work. Texture, the Boahong is a little bit better. The texture is more defined. The Waterford one, it is textured, but it's smoother. And that's not a right or wrong for each one. It rather depends on what your preference is. Color and vibrancy, I think you can tell from both of those that they're about the same, aren't they? There's not much at all to tell between the two. Lifting ability, as I said, because the Waterford dries a little bit quicker, if you're going to do lifting, do it quite swiftly. You've got a little bit more time with the Boahong. Price-wise, they're very close. There's only a $2 difference between the two papers. I think it's $32 for the Boahong, 34 for the Waterford, for 20 sheets of 12 by 9. So I hope you found that very useful, and I look forward to seeing you next time.